Welcome to JIC Bible Study. Nice to see you again. This is the story of Maz and Joe. Of course, you may know them better as Mary and Joseph. So, let me tell you what happened. There was a Naz just walking down the market. After selling a few sheep. And I sees me old mate Joe. "Hey Joe," I shouts. "Man, where you been, dude? It's like years since I last saw you, standing there behind your market store, stacked with furniture." "Hey, Jinjo," he yells back. "Jinjo, yeah, I know. You see, but he calls me that on account of my hair colour. It's ginger. It's 'cause I'm from up north, you see. Anyway, back to the story. We known each other since we was kids. Man, we go way back. So I says to him, "Joe, the last time I sees you, bro, you was gonna make me a rocking chair for the missus. Remember, Joe?" "Yeah, I remember, Jinjo. I did as well. Did you get it?" "Yeah," I says. "Your old man brought it. Up to the cabin as well. Good job, actually, because she was expecting our second child. At the time, she only sits in it now when she's pregnant, Joe. We've got 6 kids now. And they're all boys as well." "So, Joe," I says, "where you been for the last 5 years?" He looks at me a bit nervous like, and then he says, "You got time for a coffee, mate? The market's almost over anyway." "Yeah," I says. So off we trot, and we draw up a couple of chairs. Then he lays this on me. "Remember I was engaged to that girl Maz?" "Whoa, you mean that dark-haired, good-looking girl, Joe?" "Oh, yes, I remember her, Joe." "Yeah, I thought you might," he says. "Well, we went out, for a walk one day, when she stops me by the old cedar tree, and she says to me, 'Joe, I need to tell you something.' So now I'm thinking, what's going on? Then she says, 'I'm pregnant, Joe.'" "What?" I blurts out. "I know, mate. And we hadn't even..." "You hadn't? Man, that must have freaked you out. Good and proper." I was so amazed, mate. So wound up, I just punched that old tree with my fist so hard. "You?" I says. "Whoa, that's not like you, bro. An angry person you are not. In fact, Joe, you are the calmest person I know. But your girl telling you she's pregnant and it's not yours. Whoa, it's enough to make anyone dangerous." Exactly, mate. I was devastated. "So what did you do then, Joe? Did you send her off, or what?" And he told me this weird dream he had the next night. He dreamt he bumped into some tall dude who just came out of nowhere, and he tells him to chill a while because he has a message for him. So what does this dude say, Joe? You won't believe this, Joe. But he tells me he's a messenger, wait for it, from the living God. I mean, from the living God, for heaven's sake. Then he says that Maz is pregnant, but it's not by another man. It's by some sort of spiritual insemination. And that she's going to have a boy. Now, to be honest, man, I've heard some things in my life, but what he said was just so out there, man. You know what I mean? Anyway, Joe says, even though it was a dream, it was all so real that he was sort of convinced. In fact, he was so convinced that he sorts things out with Maz, and then he gets things back on track. And they get married. In secret, obviously. You know, quite like, with no fuss. I mean, you would, wouldn't you? Then he goes on and says, so a few months later, Ginger, the government decide to carry out a census. We have to head off to Bethlehem to register our existence and sign some paper or other. They've passed the law, you see. So we had no choice. We had to go. Bethlehem, eh? Man, that's a fair old trek as well. Must have taken you, what, best part of a week to get there? Yeah, it did, mate. And Maz's waters were a bit unsteady by then, if you know what I mean. Man, I says, do I know about women's waters? I've been through it 6 times now, bro. With 6 kids to prove it. So Joe goes on to tell me that when they get to Bethlehem, the place is jumping. It seems like the whole world and their wives, and probably the kids as well, have turned up to put their crosses. And all the places to bunk up are full. So he tramps around, you know, a couple of hotels and a few pubs, until he comes to this bigger place. But it's the same story. Full up. But the landlord, you know, sees the state of Maz and says he has a couple of horses and he keeps out the back, which at the moment are out for stud, so they can bunk up there for free. Well, they had no choice, did they? I mean to say. It's better than sleeping rough, especially on the roadside. It's just as well from what he says, but it's not too long, you know, before the baby comes. I'm pretty smooth by all accounts, with no problems at all. And guess what? It's a boy, just like that dude says. Remember, in that dream he had. So they name him some kind of posh name, but they call him Jez for short. Then he tells me this. Next day, Ginger, these guys show up. Shepherds, apparently. Just like you, mate. And they say they've come to see the baby. Then they waffle on, you know, about a future king, and tell me all kinds of weird stuff. Honestly, mate, I thought they were off their heads. Too much exposure to sheep dung, or something, mate. But they seemed like nice guys, you know. As it turned out, they had kids of their own. You know, so they were genuine okay. Then he says that, after a couple of days, the place is like a morgue. You know, dead-like. Seems that everyone had registered themselves, then left. Off back home, I guess. So Joe managed to rent a house. A small one, so Maz and them could get a bit of peace and quiet like, and get settled in to life again. So things is okay, he says. Then after a few months or so, they had some other visitors. These guys came from out east. Just short from somewhere, and they brought presents, for little Jez. Now, to be honest, what is a kid gonna do with a lump of gold, incense, and some embalming stuff? I'm sure he'd prefer a toy camel or a toy sheep. But people are so weird these days. So, Ginger, he goes on, after the wise guys left, I had this strange dream. Well, I think it was a dream. But it's like one of those, how can I say, wide awake dreams. You know what I mean, Ginger? Says, I know just what he means, because I get him myself. After too much coffee, or is it perhaps wine? Anyway, he goes on to say, this guy, in this wide awake dream, shouts out to me, get out of here and go to Egypt. So I tells Maz, and she thinks it's some kind of prophetic warning. Yes, I know, mate, but she's big on that kind of stuff. So we pack up all our things and off we trek, just like that. Mana says, that must have taken eons, bro. It's got to be at least 300 miles. Yes, it was, mate. But we got there safely in about 5 weeks or so. But good job we did, eh? Because next we hear, our government, back home like, gets wind of some future military coup. And things kicked off big time. What? I says. Oh, you mean that genocide thing? Yeah, they wiped out a whole generation of kids, Joe. Man, that was like so disturbing. What was that all about? I'll tell you what, I'm glad I live up north, that's what I can tell you. Yes, mate, me too, now. Anyway, Ginger, we stayed in Egypt, for a couple of years, I guess. And then guess what? Don't tell me, Joe, you had another dream. I know, mate, I know, but I don't get them anymore. But this time, I saw the same guy. But he was saying, you can go back home, go back home. So I guess she told Maz, and she reckoned it was a warning or something. You got it, bro? So we agreed to go back to Nas. And here we are, mate. And it's great to see you, Ginger. Yeah, you too, Joe. You too. So there we are, still sitting there, when this little kid, who, let me tell you this, I had never seen before, ever, comes up to us. And Joe says to him, hey, Jez, say hello to me old mate Ginger. Then he says, hello, Mr. Asher, like you knew me. The kid says, congratulations. on your wife being pregnant again. It'd be nice for you to have a girl. Cute kid, I says to Joe. Then me and Joe shake hands and I make my way back home. So when I get there, the wife's sitting, yep, in her rocking chair, and she tells me she's pregnant. Then she says, I really think it's going to be a girl this time, Jinjo. I think to myself, strange that. I mean, strange.